This is not getting connected. Alright guys, so let's get started. It took some time for me to reach this page. Alright, we have done quite a lot actually, right? So today it will be the last class with respect to finishing the previous year questions for economics. Alright, so what all we have seen so far? So far we have seen the basic concepts. I hope I am audible to all. Yeah. So far we have seen the basic concepts. Alright. After that we also saw money and after basic concept we saw economic measurement, then money and banking, and now we are in the economics economic sectors. So in the economic sectors yesterday we did 45 questions. Now we'll do the remaining 15 questions and then move on to the final section, that would be the socio-economic sector. And once we do this, we do the remaining 15 questions and the socio-economic sector, we will be done with the previous year questions for economics. So let's get started. Let's start with, since we did till 45 yesterday, let's get started with question number 46. Question 46 says, consider the following statements. Again, looks like a very factual question. Let's see if we can do something about it. The value of Indo-Sri Lanka trade has consistently increased in the last decade. So the value of Indo-Sri Lanka trade has consistently increased in the last decade. Very factual question. Now the problem here is they have not said rate of increase have consistently increased, right? They have just said that Indo-Sri Lanka trade has consistently increased. So if it was, let's say 5 billion, then it went to, let's say 5.1, then 5.2. It should never be lesser than the previous year for 10 such years. That is the question. Now, the question when it is asked is important because it is of last decade. So even if you look from 2020 onwards, if we look backwards to 10 years, there have been a certain change, or I would not say change, a fluctuation in the relationship between India and Sri Lanka. So if you know a bit about international relations, you can still answer that. I'll tell you how. For example, we don't know about the trade as such, but with respect to international relations, when it comes to India-Sri Lanka relations, in the last 10 years, there have been ups and downs in India-Sri Lanka relations. Now, why is that the case? That is the case because of the involvement of China. The involvement of China. India gives a lot of what you will call, let's say, help to Sri Lanka, economic, monetary terms with respect to tangible, intangible things. But the thing is, what Sri Lanka does is a different approach. In African countries, Sri Lanka has invested a lot of money, way more than India, but still India is a democratic country. India is not so authoritative and rigid like China. That is why people still hold India in high regards. But China has other ways to get that. China has other ways to get people on their side. One way is they spend, a lot of money. That is one thing they have done in Africa. In Sri Lanka, what they have done, they have created a debt trap. So Sri Lanka was in need of economic help. China helped Sri Lanka out, but they gave this money at a very high interest rate, saying that if you are not able to repay it, your various regions, your ports in certain regions of Sri Lanka, we will overtake. So this is nothing but what Britishers used to do. The same way Hambantota port and all those will then belong to us, we will operate that. So it is as good as buying that particular region. So because of all these things, there have been ups and downs in India-Sri Lanka relation, because of which the trade which you will see has also seen ups and downs. Hence, consistently it has not increased for the last 10 years. This is the logic you can apply, but again, I would not ask you should apply on these kind of logics only when, let's say, you are left with two options. Else, it's a very factual question. However, this logic to a large extent actually tells you that first statement would be wrong. Now, the moment first statement is wrong, option A is out of the picture, option D is out of the picture, you are left with only two options. And one is 2 only, the other is 3 only. So let's see both the statements. Statement 2 says that textile and textile articles constitute an important item of trade between India and Bangladesh. Okay, possible. Let us see the third. In the last 5 years, Nepal has been the largest trading partner of India in South Asia. Now, again, I think there is not much we can do about this. Is also factual, this is also factual, and this was also factual. So either you know them or you don't know them. You can't do anything about them, right? First statement, even if you do something about it, right, what will happen is you would be able to, let's say, deduce it to two options, right? Apart from that, you can't do much over here. Apart from that, you cannot do much over here, right? So what will be the answer here? Any guesses? Any guesses for answer over here? Okay, let me tell you. In the last 5 years, if you say Nepal, now Nepal is a very small country. How much would it trade with India? Even India, if it's a big country, we will not just like that dump. How much they will be able to buy? So the trade here is very small. Okay, this option is wrong. The correct option is B2 only. Now again, another way to understand why B2 only would be correct option. Textile and textile articles constitute an important item of trade between India and Bangladesh. Absolutely right. India is a very big country, so even certain sectors which are there since long, not much developed, also still would hold a lot of value. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, Bangladesh is also having a good market as well as a good industry of textile, right? In fact, when you talk about your, brands like Nike, Adidas, all those brands, be it their attire, their shoes, in textile, of course, textile shoes I'm not talking about, but the attire and all which may come in textile or an extended part of the textile, all these things are produced in countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, in sweatshops. Sweatshops, very small region, very small area, people are filled in those shops and working for such big brands at very cheap price. Okay. So in Bangladesh is very good in textile sector, of course, India as well. So yes, in textile and textile articles constitute an important part. Even if you don't know this much, you should understand in complete South Asia, wherein you have so many other countries, Nepal being a very small country would not be the biggest or the largest trading partner of India. So this you can understand by logic, this would be wrong and this would be wrong, and you can still derive the answer of such a factual question. Okay. Coming on to question number 47. Steel slag can be material for which of the following? Now steel slag, they are asking about steel slag. It can be material for which of the following? Any answers? No answers? Okay. Steel slag can be the material for which of the following? Now what is steel slag? So basically steel is obtained from iron ore, okay, in a blast furnace. So when you get steel out of iron ore in a blast furnace, there is a byproduct that remains. So the byproduct is nothing but the slag. Byproduct is known as slag. Steel slag means the byproduct which you get when you are extracting steel out of the ores. Okay. So, so can be material for which of the following? Whenever such things are asked, generally the answer becomes all, but not always, of course. So let us see construction of base road. Yes, you can use this slag for base road. Improvement of agricultural soil. Certain nutrients further filtering down the slag, you can utilize that. Production of cement, absolutely yes. So 1 and 3 absolutely yes. So this goes out, this goes out. Two options are still remaining. Improvement of agricultural soil, yes. The correct answer would be option D. Okay, next question. I would want you also guys to answer. With reference to pulse production in India. They are asking about with reference to pulse production in India. Okay, statement 1 says black gram can be cultivated as both kharif and rabi crop. So what is black gram? It can be cultivated both as rabi and kharif crop. Okay, this is correct. Black gram is kala chana, you say. That is what black gram is. It can be, again, quite a factual question here, can be cultivated as both rabi and kharif crop. That is right. Okay, green gram alone accounts for nearly half of pulse production. No, there are a lot many other pulses. Of course, then still some pulse can have majority of the stake, but green gram alone does not account for nearly half. Okay, so this statement is wrong. Again, it's a very factual question. In the last, but let's see if we can do something about it. Statement 1 is right. So when we know statement 1 is right, this goes out, still 2 options are remaining. Even if we don't know about statement 2, can we know something about statement 3? Let us see. In the last 3 decades, while the production of kharif pulses has increased, the production of rabi pulses has decreased. Now, can you apply any logic of geography, environment, or rainfall probably, simply speaking? So in the last 3 decades, while the production of kharif pulse, now I'll just tell you one thing. Since we know option statement 1 is correct, we are left with 2 options, right? Now once you are left with 2 options, you have to solve the question. Remember that. Now since you have to solve the questions, what will you choose? Will you mark 3 as correct or incorrect? Now the thing is, they are saying in the last 3 decades, while the production of kharif pulses has increased, rabi pulses has decreased. Now please understand, in the last 2-3 decades, we are also talking about El Nino effect and all those things happening. Now India is a country which is having almost close to 50% rain-fed agriculture. So, due to the variability, fluctuation of rainfall, absence or too much of rainfall, which kind of crop will be impacted more? The kharif crop. Right? So, it will be difficult for kharif crops to probably do well than a rabi crop, everything else remaining constant. Now, it is not to say that this is the kind of logic you apply and answer question, but you can do that if you are left with just 2 options. Okay, so this statement would also probably be, it is wrong, but by this logic also it would probably be wrong. So the correct answer here would be A, one only. Is this clear? I hope this is clear. In the context of which of the following, in the context of which of the following, in the context of India, which of the following are considered to be practices or practices of eco-friendly agriculture? Practice or practices of eco-friendly agriculture. So what is eco-friendly agriculture? What is eco-friendly agriculture? Eco-friendly, something related to do with what you would say, something related to do with conservation of environment, for example. Right, conservation of environment. So let's see, in the context of India, which of the following are considered to be practice or practices of eco-friendly agriculture? Crop diversification, it is an eco-friendly practice. Why is it an eco-friendly practice? You are diversifying crop. Once you are growing X crop for few years, then you grow Y crop for few years. This crop may need A, B, C nutrients. Then when you stop producing this, you produce that. This may need M and O nutrients. So in the meanwhile, these nutrients will start replenishing and these nutrients will be utilized. And then afterwards, you again change it. So you are diversifying crop. It is a very eco-friendly thing. So of course, when first statement is correct, this and this is wrong. So now either A or D. So all you need to know whether statement 4 is correct or not. So let us see what is statement 4. Vertical farming, that is also very eco-friendly. Vertical farming. See, land is limited, so you can do vertical farming. That will also increase the productivity on the same amount of land, and it is also a very eco-friendly technique, you can say. So the correct answer would be option D, but let us look at option statements 2 and 3 as well. Legumen intensification, legume crops, intensification of that, those are actually, the legume crops are actually helpful for the soil. Okay, so that is also correct. Tensiometer use, again with the help of this you can manage agriculture better. So all are your eco-friendly practices. Moving on, question 51. What are the advantages of fertigation in agriculture? What are the advantages of fertigation in agriculture? So fertigation in agriculture. Okay, what is fertigation? That is important. Fertigation means fertilizer plus irrigation. That is your fertigation. Okay, so now let us see what are the advantages. Controlling the alkalinity of irrigation's water. Controlling the alkalinity of irrigation water is possible. Yes. Efficient application of rock phosphate and all other phosphatic fertilizer is possible. All other efficient application of rock phosphate and all other fertilizers, all other, we'll have to see this because it's an extreme statement over here, right? Second, increased availability of nutrients to plants is possible. Yes, that is correct. 1 is correct, 3 is correct. So this is gone, you are left with A and C. Let us see fourth option. Reduction in leaching of chemical nutrients is possible. Absolutely right. The leaching would reduce. Leaching means if this is soil, this is a plant and these are its roots, right? Now what happens is fertilizer can leach down over here. When the fertilizer is leached down over here, it is not getting made available to the plants or the roots. At the same time being available here, it forms salts and makes the soil salty and infertile. So that is the harmful effect of leaching. It can reduce leaching as well. So statement 1, 3 and 4 are right. Hence C, 1, 3 and 4 is the correct option. Efficient application of rock phosphates and all other phosphatic fertilizer is wrong. Moving on, consider the following statements. Okay. Foreign currency convertible bonds. What is they asking? They are asking which of the above can be included in foreign direct investments. can be included, okay, can be included, not necessarily always, but can be included, because the definition of FDI is if you are investing more than 10%, if you are investing more than 10% in a company listed on stock exchange, then your investment is in FDI, that is foreign direct investment. Foreign currency convertible bond, yes. Foreign institutional investment with certain conditions, yes. Through FII, players who are registered in India, you can still get it invested. Global depository receipt, yes. Non-resident external deposits, no. Why not non-resident external deposits? Because, see, non-resident, who is a non-resident? The non-resident person is anyhow Indian only. No, it's not about that. It is about the fact that non-resident external deposits, those deposits are not considered as FDI. That will be considered as remittances, but not considered as FDI. So fourth statement is incorrect. 1, 2 and 3 are correct. So A is your right answer over here. Consider the following statements. This is an interesting question, interesting as in you can apply logic over here. Consider the following statements. The effect of devaluation of currency. They are asking the effect of what? Effect of devaluation of currency. Okay. Is that it necessarily improves the competitiveness of the domestic exports in the foreign markets. Now, I will spend some time on this question to help you understand certain things which will help you answer any other question as well in economics. So, I have in previous lectures also said whenever there is a term necessarily, you need to be very careful. More often than not, this would be wrong, is what I have said. But at the same time, I have also said it is not the case that it will always be wrong. So what you should do, you should wait, stop, think twice and then see what comes out of it. Because I can deliberately, because UPSC would also know that this is what we can do. So we'll come up with a statement which may actually be all the time correct and use this word. So you should not simply think necessarily is mentioned, so it will definitely be wrong. More often than not, it will be wrong. But these are the terms which should make you think twice before taking the answer. Alright. Now, when you devalue the currency, your exports will definitely be more competitive. There is no doubt about it. Whether your export increases in volume and value, that is a different thing altogether. I devalued my currency, because of which, what happens when I devalue my currency? If earlier $1 was equal to, let's say 50 rupees, I'm just taking an example. Now $1 is equal to 100 rupees, right? So earlier I was selling this pen, okay, and this pen cost me let's say 50 rupees or let's say 100 rupees. Now, and I was selling it in USA, I was exporting it to USA. So if this pen cost 100 rupees, so then the USA citizen would have to pay, anyone in USA would have to pay $2 to buy this pen. Now I have devalued my currency and now $1 equals 100 rupees. Now I need only, again I need 100 rupees only to manufacture this. It's just that the value of the currency, foreign currency, has appreciated because I have devalued my Indian rupee. Now what will happen? 100 rupees is equal to just $1. So now to buy the same pen, how much they have to pay? Just $1. So the moment the currency is devalued, the competitiveness will increase. Why? Because it is simply mathematical. It is simply mathematical. There is no subjectivity, there is no consumer behavior, there is nothing involved over here. Whether my products get sold or not, whether my products get sold more or not, whether the total value of selling is more or not, that is a different thing altogether. That will depend. Let's say if they put a lot of let's say tariffs, or they are like, we will not deal with India, that's a different thing. That will ensure that volume does not increase and value also does not increase. Sometimes value may increase, volume may not increase. Okay, all those things will happen. But the moment currency is devalued, definitely your exports will become competitive, because it is a simple mathematical equation which I have explained over here. So what did they do? They did give you a statement which is always true and wrote the word necessarily, so as to make you think that probably this may not happen. No, but there can be certain things which can necessarily happen. This is one such thing. So statement 1 says the effect of devaluation of a currency is that it necessarily improves the competitiveness of the domestic exports in the foreign markets. Absolutely yes. So this is out. Statement 1 is correct. Now let us see statement 2. Statement 2 says that increases the foreign value of domestic currency. It increases the foreign value of domestic currency. Absolutely not. It is the opposite. So 2 is wrong. So the only first statement will be correct. But let us still see the third statement as well. Improves the trade balance? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Improves the trade balance? Not necessarily. So statement 3 is also wrong. So the correct answer is option A, only 1. Okay. I hope that was very clear. Now, moving on to the next question. With reference to foreign-owned e-commerce firms operating in India. So, it's a foreign-owned, which kind of firm? E-commerce firm operating in India. Let's take for example Amazon. Which of the following statements are correct? They can sell their own goods in addition to offering their platforms as marketplaces. Okay. The degree to which they can own big sellers on their platform is limited. Yes, this is limited. This is limited. Why this is limited? They cannot have just one seller having 90% of the share. They are actually limited to 25%. So that there is no monopoly, so there is competition, competitiveness. That is why they are limited. Option 2 is correct. Now when it comes to e-commerce, foreign owned e-commerce, they can sell their own goods? No, they cannot sell their own goods. Now you may think Amazon comes up with Amazon Basics. That is not directly theirs. Amazon Basics is a tie-up with the Indian firms. Okay, so remember that. So this cannot be done. This only 2 is the B only 2 is the correct option here. All right. Yes. Very well. Now let's move on to question number 55. With reference to G20 framework, a couple of months back, few months back, G20 summit was also held. Consider the following statement. It is an initiative endorsed by the G20 framework. Okay, it is an initiative endorsed by G20 together with Paris Club. Yes, that's correct. Factual statement. So when G20 is in news, it was in news, you should read about it. You should get to know about this. It is an initiative to support low-income countries with unsustainable debt. Absolutely correct. Both statements are correct. The correct answer here would be C, both 1 and 2. It is a very factual question. You can't do much about that. Okay. Now, let's come on to 56. With reference to expenditure made by an organization or a company, which of the following statements are correct? Acquiring new technologies, capital expenditure? Absolutely yes. Acquiring new technology is a capital expenditure. It's not a revenue expenditure. Why? Because technology will remain for a time and it will help you generate more and better efficient revenue. Debt financing is considered capital expenditure, while equity financing is considered revenue expenditure. Absolutely wrong. It is the other way around. When debt financing is there, meaning you had a loan, you are financing that loan, it is not a capital expenditure. Equity financing, as in you are now, you spend something to own 20% of particular thing. Now this is a capital expenditure. Why? Because you have, let's say, held now 20% share in a hospital, in a road which will have tolls, or let's say in a company. You will then be able to generate revenue out of it. Revenue generation will happen. Since revenue generation will happen, what will this be? This will be a capital expenditure. I hope that is absolutely clear. So correct answer is option B, 2 only. Let's move on. Consider the following. Okay, just consider the following, nothing more than that. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, Missile Technology Control Regime, MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. India is a member of which of the following? All of the above. India is a member of all of the above. India is a member of Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, Missile Technology Control Regime, as well as Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, let's move on to question 58. 5 statements are there in question 58. Vietnam has been one of the fastest growing economies of the world in the recent years. Correct. A big textile sector, sweatshops, cheap labor, all those things have been the reason for it. Okay, for Vietnam to be the fastest growing economy in the world. Vietnam is led by a multi-party political system. No, they do not have multi-party political system. They are like China, for example. Vietnam's economic growth is linked to its integration with global supply chains and focus on exports. Yes, they export textile products a lot. Alright. So they are always in the top 3, top 2. This is correct. 1 is correct, 3 is correct. Can we do something about it? Yes. The moment you know 1 is correct, this 2 goes out, 3 is correct, this also goes out. Only 1 option is left. But let's see 4 and 5 as well. For a long time, Vietnam's low labor costs, as I was saying when we are discussing this, we were saying low labor cost. For a long time, Vietnam's low labor costs and stable exchange rates have attracted global manufacturers. Absolutely correct. Global manufacturers like Nike, Adidas, all are attracted over here, especially because of cheap labor. So 1, 3 and 4 is correct. That is option C. But let us see option statement 5 as well. Vietnam has the most productive e-service sector in the Indo-Pacific region. Now this is a big statement. Okay. That too, most productive e-service, that is gonna be wrong, because anyhow we got the answer. Even if you don't know, you can understand it will be wrong. In India, which of the following compiles information on industrial disputes, closure entrenchments and layoffs in factories employing workers? Who will do that? Of course, Central Statistics Office can also do. They also compile a lot of data. But the correct answer here, again a factual question, is Labor Bureau does that. Okay. Also remember the CPI, we did the question yesterday, CPI of industrial worker is also calculated by Labor Bureau. Okay. In India, what is the role of the Coal Controllers Organization? What is the role of the Coal Controllers Organization? Coal Controller is the major source of coal statistics in Government of India. Yes. It monitors progress of development of captive coal lignite blocks. Yes. Basically, understand their role. Their role is to ensure that the coal is supplied to thermal power plants and all that. The supply, the production and supply is stable, constant and as per the requirement. That is what they have to ensure. Now to do that, they would be of course calculating the statistics. To do that, they would be monitoring the progress of development of captive coal lignite blocks. Right. It hears any objection to the government's notification relating to acquisition of coal bearing areas. When it is allotted, any objection it will hear. So anyhow 1 and 2 is correct. So when 1 and 2 is correct, this goes out. When 3 is also correct, This and this also goes out, but let's look at the fourth statement. It ensures that coal mining companies deliver the coal to the end users in the prescribed time. No, that they will not do. That will be just too much. They will ensure the production and supply, not if it is reaching at the right time or not. That is a very micromanagement which is not done by them. I hope that is absolutely clear. Now, economic sectors are now over. Now let us start with socio-economic sectors. Socio-economic sectors. Now, in socio-economic sectors, let's say gender inequality, equality, all those things, inclusive growth, poverty, unemployment, all those things will also come into picture. Okay, so all those things we'll have to, we'll be looking over here. So a lot of things can be of course factual here also, but a lot of things you can also, let's say, apply certain logics. Anyhow, we'll be solving it and we'll see what kind of questions are asked. Okay, so let's start with the very first question. Which one of the following best describes the concept of small farmer, large field? Small farmer, large field. Okay. Option A, resettlement of large number of people uprooted from their countries due to war by giving them a large cultivable land which they cultivate collectively and share the produce. It's a long story. It's a long story they have given here. So what they're saying, resettlement of large number of people. They are removing certain people from somewhere and they needs to be resettled. So they are talking about resettlement, okay, of large number of people. Who are these people? Uprooted from where? From their countries due to war by giving them large cultivable land which they cultivate collectively and share the produce. Now, certain countries can be such magnanimous and may be doing this, but this is not the concept of small farmer, large field. Many marginal farmers in an area organize themselves into groups and synchronize and harmonize selected agricultural operations. Yes, this is the right answer. Option B is the right answer. So what is done basically is, I'll give you an example. If this is a field, okay, these are big plots and here you have, let's say, small plots. Right. Now just imagine so many plots over here. One single farmer, if they are doing their farming, they will not be able to buy tractors or any technological advancement because their farm is so small that the fixed cost required for them to buy such things will be very high and the produce will be very less. I always use this example. If this one single digital board is there and one single student is studying, it will not make sense. It will be a huge cost for just one single student, right? But if there are 40 students, then this will make sense. In the same manner, buying a tractor or any technology, I just gave tractor as an example, you can get it on rent also, but even that becomes costlier. And buying though, of course, is another thing altogether. So it will be very difficult. But when you club it, this field becomes so big, all the farmers come together, their purchasing power comes together. Now they can buy a tractor and plow the entire field and utilize technology and stuff. So that is what is meant by small farmer, large field. Actually, it could have been small farmers and large field, but fine, we want to feel much better about ourselves, so we have written just small farmer and large field. But it really helps, it increases the efficiency, it helps them to also utilize technology in their production activities. But let us see the other options as well. Many marginal farmers in an area together make a contract with a corporate body surrender their land to the corporate body of a fixed term for which the corporate body makes a payment of agree. This is corporate farming. Okay. A company extends loans, technical knowledge and material inputs to a number of small farmers in an area so that they produce the agriculture commodity required by the company for its manufacturing process and commercial production. Again, it will be a part of corporate farming, giving loans, etc. The correct answer is option B. Moving on to the second question. Consider the following markets. How many of the above are included in capital markets is what they are asking. How many of the above are included in the capital market? Now the question is, to be included in the capital market, what is the requirement? If you know the requirement, you can get the answer over here. So what would be the requirement to be a part of capital market? Okay, I'll tell you. So to be a part of let's say capital market, they are asking, right? To be a part of capital market, the instrument that you are dealing with should be for more than 365 days. This is capital market. Clear? Now let us see. Bond market, yes. Call money market, no. We discussed call money market in a previous question. Overnight money, taking money for short term, 1 day, 2 day, 1 night, 2 night, 2, 3 days, so on and so forth. So it is not. Treasury bill is also same. It is not. Stock market, yes. So, now the option is also very tricky. The option is not 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3. It is only 1, only 2, only 3, only 4. So how many are correct? 1 is correct, 4 is correct. So only 2 are correct. Correct option is only 2. Moving on, question number 3. Statement 1. India's public sector healthcare system largely focuses on curative care, limited preventive, promotive and rehabilitative care. Absolutely correct. You can close your eyes and consider this to be correct. There is no doubt about it. It is more about curative. Preventive and all is not that developed in India. Also, promotive, rehabilitative, it's not there much in India. So statement 1 is correct. Under India's decentralized approach to healthcare delivery, the states are primarily responsible for organizing the health services. So is it because primarily the state government is responsible? That is like blaming the state government directly. So that is not exactly the reason. The reason is the entire infrastructure. You cannot blame the state government alone for this. You have a lot of things which the state government will not have under control. The awareness, the technological advancement, the lifestyle, or the GDP, the amount of GDP. Why amount of GDP is important? Because in healthcare sector, if you are spending, let's say 3% of GDP, if GDP is higher, you can spend even more. So availability of funds, all those things are reason. Just because it is being taken care by the state government, that's why this is the case? Absolutely not. But it is taken care by the state government, that is a fact. So statement 2 would be correct. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 would be correct, but statement 2 will not be the explanation for statement 1. Alright. So let's see options. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Yes. Statement 2 is the correct explanation of our statement 1. No. Statement 1 incorrect. No. Statement 1 is correct. So this is also wrong. Statement 1 correct, but 2 is incorrect. No. Statement 2 is also correct. So what is the correct option? Option B. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Alright. Moving on to question number 4. Okay. The self-help group program was originally initiated. Now, the first statement is very factual. It is asking who initiated the program. Okay. So, SHG, that is the self-help group program, was initiated by State Bank of India by providing microcredit to financially deprived. No. State Bank of India did not start it. It was started by SEWA. It was started by SEWA. SEWA is Self-Employed Women's Association. Okay. Now, what about the other things? In SHG, all members of a group take responsibility for a loan that an individual member takes. Yes. The regional rural bank and scheduled commercial banks support SHGs. Yes. The regional rural banks, RRBs, scheduled commercial banks, they support SHGs. So only two statements are correct. Question number 5. Okay. In context of any country, oh, this is interesting. In context of any country, they are saying, which one of the following would be considered as a part of its social capitals? The proportion of literates in the population. Okay, if you are literate. Okay. The stock of its buildings, other infrastructure and machines. No, this is definitely not. This we don't know. This is definitely not. And they're talking about buildings and stuff. This is not social capital. The size of population in the working age group. This will also be not. Why? Because for social capital to be formed, they need to be trained, they need to be skilled, they need to have the skill to be forming human capital or social capital. Just increase in population in the working age group is not automatically forming social capital. So this is also wrong. The level of mutual trust and harmony in the society. Okay. So the population of literates in the proportion of literates in the population, absolutely not. The number of literates does not define anything, does not define what they can do, how they will be, how not they will be. All those things cannot be defined just because they are literate. So this is also not correct. The correct option would be, the correct answer would be option D. Moving on. In a given year in India, official poverty lines, official poverty lines are higher in some states than in others because poverty rates vary from state to state. Yeah, that though anyhow will vary, but that is not the reason. The statement in itself is correct, but not the reason. Price levels vary from state to state. Yes. But let's see other options also. Price level also vary, but now this is the problem. Statement may be correct, but not the reason. Poverty rates vary from state to state. Yes. But is that the reason? No. So we need to be careful here. Price levels vary from state to state. Can that be the reason? That can be one of the reason. But let us look at, so this is probably the right answer, but let us look at other options as well. Gross state product varies from state to state. No, it has nothing to do with poverty line. Quality of public distribution varies from state to state. Right? Again, it's not the case. So the correct answer, of course, is price levels vary from state to state. Question number, now let's come to question number 7th. With reference to the provisions made under the National Food Security Act 2013, consider the following statements. Talking about the National Food Security Act. Families coming under the category of below poverty line only are eligible to receive subsidized food grains. Absolutely not. This talks about 75% in rural areas and 50% in urban areas. So definitely there will be others as well. So statement 1 is wrong. The eldest woman in a household age 18 and above shall be the head of the household for the purpose of issuance of ration card. Absolutely correct. This is correct. This is a good thing. A similar thing is now happening also in what you will say, our Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is housing scheme which is there, in which what is happening, generally they are either giving as a joint ownership of the female or the male, or joint ownership of the female. So they are doing this. It's a good thing to do. Pregnant women and lactating mothers are entitled to take home ration of 1600 calories per day during pregnancy for 6 months thereafter. No, this provision as such is not there. Okay, so only option Correct option is B, that is only 2. With reference to Pradhan, so this, let me tell you, this pregnant women and lactating mother is an option, this thing is under another scheme, okay, of women and child development. This is not under the Food Security Act. With reference to Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana as in developing the skills. Kaushal Vikas Yojana, consider the following statements. It is the flagship scheme of Ministry of Labour and Development. No, I think it's for Ministry of Skill Development. So first is wrong. It among other things will also impart training in soft skill, entrepreneurship, financial and digital literacy. Absolutely correct. That is what it is. Skill development scheme. Kaushal means skill. Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Skill development. Kaushal means skill. Vikas means development. Skill development scheme. Yojana means scheme. So it is skill development scheme. Now that's the issue, you know. I don't know, but the issue is now the terms are in Hindi. So now the terms, since they are in Hindi, if one knows Hindi, it's very easy for them to decipher, right? Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Kaushal means skill, Vikas means development, Yojana means skill. So they are saying skill development scheme. So at times it can be beneficial also, and that is sort of probably a bias. Alright, anyhow we can still know that, we can still break down and put in efforts to understand and anyhow know the scheme on its own as well. So not a problem. We have seen statement 2 is correct. Now let's move on to statement 3. It aims to align the competencies of the unregulated workforce of the country to the national skill qualification framework. Absolutely correct. So what is happening is, if you want to train people, the economy requires Y skill. You train them in X skill. Will this work? This will not work. If Y skill is required, train them in Y skill, not X. In the same manner, national skill qualification framework is there, right? And unregulated sector of workforce is there which requires certain skills. So they want to align it, which is a good thing to do. So correct answer would be option C, that is 2 and 3. Now moving on to question number 9th. Okay, just let me have some water. In the meanwhile, just have a look at the question and try if you can solve it. What is the question saying? The question is saying, the nationwide soil health card schemes aims at expanding the cultivable area under irrigation. No. Soil health card tells you the health of the soil and what crops to grow, how much of fertilizer to use, how much of water, so on and so forth. This is not the thing. So this is wrong, this is wrong. 3 would be correct. What is 3? Checking the overuse of fertilizer in farmlands. Yes. Enabling the banks to assess the quantum of loans to be granted to the farmers on the basis of soil quality. This is interesting, but this till now is not there. This can be done. This is an interesting point, but no, that is not the case. Only 3 is correct. That is option B. Who among the following can join the national pension system? Who among the following can join the national pension system? Resident Indians, citizens only, persons of age 21 to 55, all state government employees joining the services after the date of notification of the respective state governments, all central government employees including those of armed forces joining the services on or after 1st April 2004. The correct answer here is option C. All state government employees joining the services after the date of notification by the respective state governments. Alright. Another interesting question. Recognition of priority sector, prior learning scheme, sorry, I'm going on to priority sector, it's prior learning scheme, is sometimes mentioned in the news with reference to certifying the skills acquired by the construction workers through traditional channels, enrolling the person in universities for distance programs. Okay, now can we use some logic over here? See, prior learning scheme, it is not of a very high level talking about the enrollment in universities. This is wrong, but again it's factual, either you know it or you don't know it. Reserving some skilled jobs on rural and urban poor for some, reserving some skilled jobs to rural and urban poor in some public sector undertakings, no, not talking about reserves, not talking about universities. Certifying the skills acquired by the trainees under the National Skill Development Program, no, not certification. There needs to be some prior learning which they are talking about, and that is certifying the skills acquired by the construction workers through traditional channels. Prior learning scheme, if I am going to any training center, I may already have some prior skills. So they certify those prior skills which I may already have. I hope that is absolutely clear. Right, let's move on. Regarding Atal Pension Yojana, which of the following statement are correct? It is a minimum guaranteed pension scheme mainly targeted to unorganized sector workers. Yes. See, here a lot of schemes are being asked and they are quite factual in nature. Only, so this is correct, one is correct, this is gone. Okay. So statement 1 is correct. Only one member of a family can join the scheme. No, more than one member can join. Same amount of pension is guaranteed for the spouse for the life after the subscriber's death. Yes, that's correct. This is a 2016 question when I was giving the paper. Atal Pension Yojana, minimum guaranteed pension scheme. Same amount of pension is guaranteed for the spouse for life after the subscriber's death. So 1 and 3, option C, 1 and 3 only. Now, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. This was for financial inclusion. So aimed at bringing the small entrepreneurs into financial system. How financial inclusion? As in providing small loans to people to start their business. Okay. So that is what Mudra Yojana is. There are 3 kinds of loans: Shishu, Kishore and Tarun. It is the smallest form of money, more and then slightly more. Okay. So it was to bring the small entrepreneurs into the financial system. Providing loans to poor farmers for cultivating crops? No. Providing pension to old and destitute persons? No. Funding the voluntary organizations involved in the promotion of skill development? No, it is providing money to the entrepreneurs to start their own business. Now again, I think we have not discussed this question but talked about this question. How this question tries to trap you. Swayam means doing things on your own. Swayam is an initiative of the government of India aimed at, and the first option they give is promoting self-help groups. Self-help as in those who help themselves, and Swayam means what? Helping yourself. So it is very easy to get attracted to this option, but this is not the right option. This is incorrect. Okay, so do not get attracted to such options. You should know it, then only you solve it. Providing financial and technical assistance to young startup entrepreneurs? No. Promoting the education and health of adolescent girls? No. Providing affordable and quality education to the citizens for free? Yes, this is the answer. So basically, the government will provide a platform. On this platform, you will be getting affordable plus quality education, and on your own you can go to that platform and watch it. It is named as Swayam. With reference to Stand Up India scheme, which of the following statements are correct? with reference to Stand Up India scheme. Which of the following statement is are correct? Its purpose is to promote entrepreneurship among SC, ST and women entrepreneurs. Yes, there are specific reservation for them. It provides for refinancing through SIDB. No, it not talks about refinancing through SIDB. So again a factual question, again a question on a scheme. Only one is correct. Option A, only one is correct. Now next question. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana has been launched for what? Financial inclusion. Let's see. Providing housing loans? No. Promoting women self-help group? No. Promoting financial inclusion in the country? Yes. 0 rupee accounts have also been opened in this scheme. It is basically to ensure that people open their accounts, get connected to the banks, digitized and all those things. So it is for financial inclusion. What was the last option? Providing financial help to marginalized communities? No. It is for promoting financial inclusion in the country. Question number 17. Disguised unemployment generally means what? So let's understand the concept of disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment. Now, let's say if this is the area, and in this area you have to dig a hole just 1 feet in depth and this much of size. Now you bring in one person. You bring in one person to dig that hole. That person comes, takes 2 hours to do it. Now you add another person. That person also comes, and if doing alone he would also take 2 hours, but they do it together. This is A, this is B. A plus B, they do it together. So when they do it together, they take 1 hour. Now you add 2 more person. C. Understand this concept. C and D. Now if doing alone they would also take 2 hours, he would also take 2 hours. So now when A plus B plus C plus D are doing together, they are doing it in half an hour. Right? Now what happens? You bring another person, E. This person would have also done in 2 hours. Now when this person is brought in, then A plus B plus C plus D plus E, they together are doing still in 1 hour only. Still in half an hour only. So what is happening? Even after adding another person, here there were total 4 people, here now there is 5 people. So after 4 people, when you have added the 5th person, the time did not change, it did not decrease, it was half an hour and it is still half an hour. Earlier from 2 hours it became 1 hour, from 1 hour it became half an hour, now from half an hour it is not reducing. And now if you keep adding 100 such people also, it will not reduce. Right? So when you added the 5th person and it did not reduce, this 5th person is having disguised unemployment. He is employed, he is getting the salary, but this is a disguised unemployment, that is salary is going, but no work is getting, no productivity is increasing. So the definition would be, if you remove this person, will the productivity change? No. When you added this person, the productivity did not increase. So when you remove this person, the productivity will not reduce. So the definition of disguised unemployment would be, if you can remove anyone from the system without adversely affecting the productivity, that means there was disguised unemployment. If you add someone without increasing the productivity, that also will lead to disguised unemployment. So either you are adding or subtracting that person, the productivity is not changing, that means that person is a part of disguised unemployment. Now having understood this concept, let's look at the question. Disguised unemployment generally means what? Large number of people remaining unemployed? Absolutely not. People can be unemployed. When this person was unemployed, not a part of this, there was no disguised unemployment. The moment he became actually a part of it, there was disguised unemployment. So large number of people, and to have disguised unemployment, people have to be actually employed. It's a misnomer. It is the conflicting concept, right? So anyhow, large number of people remain unemployed. This is not disguised unemployment. This is high unemployment rate. Alternative unemployment is not available. They will remain unemployed, but not disguised unemployment. Marginal productivity of the labor is 0. Yes, this is the right answer. Marginal productivity as in you have reached to a level after which if you add another person, the productivity will not increase. That is the meaning of marginal productivity of labor is 0. What is marginal productivity? Once you add a person, it increases the productivity. The amount with which it increases the productivity is your marginal productivity. Now if you keep on increasing the people as we kept on doing it, productivity kept on increasing. After a point, it will so happen that when you add another person, the productivity will not increase, and this was that point. Right? So what is disguised unemployment? When it means that disguised unemployment generally means marginal productivity of labor is 0. Not increasing means 0 it is. Productivity of worker is low, it can be low, but productivity will still be there. This worker could have more productivity, less, but still it would be there. Here it was 0 after adding. Okay, so productivity is low is not the answer. The answer is marginal productivity of labor is 0. Alright. Alright guys, let's take a quick break of 5 minutes and let's finish off with the remaining questions. In the meanwhile, you can think of this particular question and write your answer in the comment section. We will then discuss it. Thank you.
Attention all UPSC aspirants, are you ready to embark on a transformative journey towards success? Look no further because Legacy IAS Academy proudly presents its highly anticipated new UPSC coaching batch commencing on May 13th, 2024. Our comprehensive one-year foundation course is designed to equip you with everything you need to conquer the UPSC exams from prelims to main syllabus. Optional subject guidance, mentorship, study materials, interview guidance and rigorous test series, we have got you covered. Choose the mode of education that best suits your needs, whether it's online, offline or innovative hybrid model. With each batch limited to just 40 students, now is your chance to secure your spot in the exclusive program. But hurry, seats are filling up fast. Don't miss out on this golden opportunity to receive top-notch guidance from our experienced faculty and propel your UPSC journey towards success. Call us today at 9606900004 or 02 to secure your registration. Join Legacy IAS Academy and let's turn your dream into reality. Thank you.
Alright guys, let's now continue, okay, with our 18th question. Alright, so 18th question, which of the following can be said to be essentially the parts of inclusive governance? Essentially the parts, it has to be essentially the part of inclusive governance. Now option statement 1 says permitting the non-banking financial companies to do banking. See, you need not think whether it will be the right decision or not, it will be the correct way or not. You need to just understand whether it will lead to further inclusiveness or not. That is all you need to ensure, not whether it is the right decision, wrong decision, how accurate it is, how much efficiency it will have. All those things you have to not think about. Just think whether it will be inclusive or not. Okay, so permitting the non-banking financial companies to do banking, okay, not necessarily, essentially the parts of inclusive governance they are saying. Let's see other options. Establishing effective district planning committees in all districts, yes. Inclusive governance, it's not simply inclusive finance, it is inclusive governance. So going at a grassroots level, lower level, of course it will be inclusive. 2 is correct, so this is wrong. Now increasing government spending on public health, yes, that can be inclusive. 2 is correct, 3 is correct, so this is also gone. Strengthening the midday meal scheme, yes, that would also be inclusive governance. So 2, 3 and 4. 1 is not the correct statement. Okay. With reference to the National Rural Health Mission, which of the following are the jobs of ASHA trained community health workers? Okay. ASHA trained community health workers. Accompanying women to the health facility for antenatal checkup, yes. Using pregnancy test kits for early detection of pregnancy, yes. Providing information on nutrition and immunization, yes. Conducting delivery of the baby, no. They would take them to the healthcare centers for institutionalized deliveries. They will not conduct the deliveries. This is wrong. The right option is A, 1, 2 and 3. How does the National Rural Livelihood Mission seek to improve livelihood options of rural poor. How does it help to seek to improve the livelihood of the poor? By setting up a large number of new manufacturing industries and agri-business centers? No, this will be a Herculean task for them. Statement 1 is wrong. When statement 1 is wrong, you directly get your answer. But still, let us look at other options. By strengthening self-help groups and providing skill development? Yes. Yes, that is absolutely right. Just imagine, how does National Rural Livelihood Mission, will it start opening manufacturing industries? Of course not. That will be a very big thing to do. So 1 is wrong. By strengthening self-help groups and providing skill development? Yes. By supplying seeds, fertilizer, diesel pump sets and micro irrigation? No, they will not be into businesses and transferring all these kind of things. Okay. Now, interesting question, multi-dimensional poverty, but I don't know if they have made it very factual. Probably. Multi-dimensional poverty index developed by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative with United Nations Development Program support covers which of the following? Okay. Deprivation of education, health, assets and services at household levels? Yes. Purchasing power parity at national level? No. Purchasing power parity would come at international levels. Of course, at a national level, with respect to the price increase, they can have, but they are not talking about it. They have not gone into that level. So 2 is wrong. 1 is correct. Extent of the budget deficit and GDP growth rate? No. Again, that will have nothing to do with an individual's poverty. That can have everything to do, let's say, with the government's poverty or the government's lack of fund, but not individual poverty. So 3 is incorrect. Correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. The endeavor of Janani Suraksha Yojana, is to promote institutional deliveries? Yes. To provide monetary assistance to the mother to meet the cost of delivery? Yes. To provide for wage loss due to pregnancy and confinements? No. That is not provided. Okay. What is provided is, it helps to promote institutional deliveries, it provide monetary assistance, and monetary assistance up to 2 children. Afterwards, you will not get it. Okay. So the correct answer here would be A, that is 1 and 2. Consider the following statements. Consider the following. Okay, consider the following. Hotels and restaurants, motor transport undertaking, newspaper establishments, private medical institutes, the employers of which of the above can have the social security coverage under the employees state insurance scheme? All of them. All of them can have it. There is no such exclusion. All of them can have the social security coverage under the employees state insurance scheme. Alright. So the correct answer would be D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. How do district rural development agencies, DRDAs, district rural development agencies, help in reduction of rural poverty in India? Okay, how DRDAs are helping in poverty reduction? DRDA act as Panchayati Raj institutions in certain specified backward regions of the country? No. Panchayati Raj institution is an elected body. Right. This kind of a body, institutional body, cannot replace Panchayati Raj. It's an elected body. It's a democracy. So it's a democratic body. It's an elected body. You cannot replace the elected body just like that. No. It's a very extreme statement actually. Actually, it can be a part of polity also, this question. So anyhow, this first statement is wrong. So this is wrong. You know that fourth will be correct. So what is fourth? DRDAs watch over and ensure effective utilization of the funds intended for anti-poverty program. Yes, they do that. They definitely do that. One of the major roles is that. But we have to see 3 also. DRDAs secure intersectoral and interdepartmental coordination and cooperation for the effective implementation of anti-poverty programs. Yes, these two actions are actually in sync. They basically see how effectively it is being utilized and also would tell how to effectively utilize it. Let's look at statement 2 also. DRD undertake an area specific scientific study of the cause of poverty and malnutrition and prepare detailed remedial measures. So this is research. DRDA does not do research. They are into managing the efficiency and checking whether it is getting done efficiently or not. They are basically playing the role of project managers, not research scholars. Okay, so statement 1 is wrong, 2 is wrong, 3 and 4 are correct. So option B, 3 and 4 only. Among the following, who are eligible to benefit from the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act? Adult members of only the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes? No. Even the open category, the OBCs are also eligible. Adult members of below poverty line households? No. Even others who are not below poverty households but still do not have work are eligible. Adult members of households of all backward communities? Yes, but not just them, others also. So this is sort of correct because it is not saying only, but let's see what option 4 says. Option D says adult members of any household. Yes, now this is the most appropriate answer. Adult members of any household is eligible. Inclusive growth as enunciated in the 11th 5-year plan does not include which of the following? Reduction of poverty, it includes this. Extension of employment opportunity, it includes this. Reduction of gender inequality, it includes this. So what does it not include? It does not include strengthening of capital market. This is not a socio-economic thing. This is a purely economic activity, economic thing, talking about development of capital market. Right? So this is the correct answer. Question number 27. An objective of the National Food Security Mission is to increase the production of certain crops through an area expansion and productivity enhancement in a sustainable manner in the identified districts of the country. Which are those crops? This is interesting. Why this is interesting? It is related to your national food security. So you can simply think whatever they may be providing in the National Food Security Act, that is what it will be here. So let us see. Rice, wheat, pulses, oilseeds, vegetables. Vegetables are not included. Oilseeds are not included. So wheat and rice only, but pulses are also added now. So the correct answer is B, rice, wheat and pulses. Also, certain states can add certain state specific things into your National Food Security Act package. Okay, so certain states may provide one additional thing to you. It may vary state to state depending upon the state, and you may not get also. Rice, wheat, pulses, sugar, soft coke or soft coal and kerosene is there, but then kerosene would now, if you talk about edibles, so in edibles, rice, wheat, pulses, sugar, this will be there. Now in addition to this, states can add anything they would want to. Okay, but it is talking about, so that would not be a provision under national security specifically for a particular food item, but states can add it. As far as particularly food item which is considered in this and they want to increase the area for growing it, it is rice, wheat and pulses only. 27th correct answer is option B. Which of the following is factor policies were affecting the price of rice in India in the recent past? Affecting either positively or negatively. Let's see. Minimum support price, will it affect? Yes. Government trading? Yes. Government stockpiling? Yes. Consumer subsidies? Yes. Everything will affect the prices. How much subsidy is there? Price will fluctuate. Government stockpiling, price will fluctuate. Government trading, price will fluctuate. All the things were impacting. So the correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Moving on to question number 29th. Under the Kisan Credit Scheme, Kisan Credit Card Scheme, Short-term credit support is given to farmers for which of the following? Under it, short-term loans are given. So it is given for which of the following is what they are asking. Working capital for maintenance of farm assets, yes. Purchase of combined harvesters, tractors and mini trucks. Now for that they do not get the loans. They get the loans for very basic kind of things. So 1 is correct, 2 is wrong. So when 2 is wrong, everything else becomes, option goes out. Let us look at other option. Consumption requirement of farm household, yes. Post harvest expenses, yes. Construction of family house and setting up of village cold storage facilities, absolutely not. So even if you understand that 5 is wrong, still all options would be eliminated and you will be left with only one option, that is B, 1, 3 and 4. Question number 30. In case of all cereals, pulses and oilseeds, the procurement of at minimum support price is unlimited in any state of India. No. The procurement is unlimited. Unlimited is an extreme word here. No, it is not. In the case of cereals and pulses, MSP is fixed in any state, union territory at a level to which the market price will never rise. Absolutely wrong. That will be too high. That will be too high. A level up to which market prices will never rise. So pulses, they go up to 250. So then will the MSP of pulses be 300? Absolutely not. Extreme statements, both of them. So so the answer would be D, neither 1 nor 2. Question number 31. Question number 31 says what? With reference to the casual workers employed in India, consider the following statements. Okay. All casual workers are entitled to employment provident fund coverage. Yes, they are. All casual workers are entitled for regular working hours and overtime payment. Yes, they are. Whether they actually get it or not is a different thing, but they are eligible. The government can by a notification specify that an establishment or industry shall pay wages only through its bank account. Yes, the government can do that and the government has done it as well at certain times. So the correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Now moving on to the final question for previous year questions of economics. This is the final question. Which of the following activities constitute real sector in the economy? Which constitute the real sector in the economy? So final answer, anyone would like to attempt? Okay. First let us understand what is the real sector. There are two types of sectors here. Real, which deals with production, and nominal, which deals with finance. So let's see which are real. Farmers harvesting their crop, real. Textile mills converting raw cotton into fabric, real. Commercial bank lending money to a trading company. So this is real. This is real. Commercial bank lending money to trading company. This is nominal. Corporate body issuing rupee denominated bonds overseas. This is also nominal. Nominal because these two are financial or finance related. The first two are production related. So the correct answer is option A, that is 1 and 2. Alright guys, so with this we finished the previous year question of economics. I hope you understand the concept of real, that is related to real sector as in related to the production, nominal sector related to the finance. Okay. Now this is going to help the questions in your paper this year, or this year, of course we are talking about this. It will change, it will be related to these kind of questions. A lot of options we discuss, a lot of questions we discuss is going to help you to answer some of the questions in your examination. So be very thorough with all of them. Total 192 questions we have solved, close to 200 questions of the last 13 years. It is a lot of question, trust me, you would be able to solve with the help of just this. Plus you have your study of the standard book, the lectures, the notes, current affairs, so on and so forth. Alright, so I wish you all the best guys, study well and all the best.